anything else.
Peace of mind.
Knowing you get a thorough inspection by Midas-trained experts and a written estimate up front. Knowing every brake shoe and pad is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. And knowing the job will be done right. That's why more people come to us for brakes, knowing that nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Your Dodge dealer will now illustrate package savings. Get $2,700 worth of popular options on select full-size Dodge pickups at no extra charge. Like power windows, air conditioning, intermittent wipers, 30-gallon fuel tank, and more. Plus $1,500 cash back for a total savings of $4,200.
Get the Dodge Advantage at your Dallas-Fort Worth Dodge dealers.
Well, a lot of the success of next season depends on how successful they are tomorrow.
Yeah, it does. The NBA draft, this is becoming fun because, you know, usually these are things are set in stone. You pretty much know how it's going to happen, but not this year. NBA draft tomorrow, and this does get better the closer we get. Mavericks have the 6th pick in that draft tomorrow, and they need to come away with a good one. And here's Jerry Orr.
The Mavericks are out of extra #1 picks and nearly out of patience with their only superstar, Roy Tarpley. So to get back to the NBA's penthouse level, they must build the old... But salary cap restrictions make that nearly impossible. So they'll go with their 3 picks, #6, #33, and #35.
If we could get a couple of young players to go along with the 6th pick, that could be good enough for this year, and then we could play it out and see what happens. We still may not be good enough to make the playoffs if Roy Tarpley doesn't come back and Fat Lever has a problem, but we think Fat's going to be ready to go, and we're hoping Roy's going to be ready to go.
The Mavericks will likely get either Doug Smith, a 6'9" power forward from Missouri, or Steve Smith, a 6'7" big guard from Michigan State. They're hoping to duplicate the blueprint of the Phoenix Suns, who drafted, traded, and signed their way to success in only 1 season. The Suns won 27 more games after reconstructive surgery.
What we're trying to do is get some youth to our club and along the way stay healthy so we can be competitive and develop and maybe look at the trade process to see if we can make a jump, for example, the way the Phoenix Suns did.
The bottom line is that the NBA draft won't bring the Mavericks any quick fixes or miracles. They need a solid pick at #6, and they need some luck with Roy Tarpley, who could get them back to the elite of the NBA. Jerry Orr, Channel 8 Sports at Reunion Arena.
And again, they'll have their big party going tomorrow night. We'll be live tomorrow night, and the draft is at night. It's a nighttime draft, so we'll have the big report will be at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
I hope Ro Blackman stays.
I do too.
All right. Thanks, Dale.
And finally tonight, probably everybody has some sort of dream house that they'd love to own. Some people are lucky enough to buy one.
Still others build their own. And East Texan did just that for a fraction of what most people would pay, as John Kronk reports in this edition of Texas Tales.
A year ago, Mike Bates began a project.
I bit off a big piece here to chew, that's for certain.
A 1,700 square foot, 2-story house, all built by Mike with help from his 2 children.
Seth helped me, he pounded some nails on the roof, and Emily's helped me with some siding.
You got it?
Yes.
His wife holds down a job to keep paychecks coming in. Mike is an educator by profession, but left teaching in order to build the house. He bought a portable sawmill and cut lumber throughout East Texas. He would often take lumber as payment or cut logs which would otherwise have been wasted. Now he's halfway on the home he designed himself.
I've built a few small things in my life, and this one is really it was a big thing to try to do.
Mike figures he's got about $2,000 invested so far, and it'll come in at under $6 grand when he finishes this autumn.
It's a struggle. I mean, it really is. But it's coming along, and it makes you feel good. I think anybody that, you know, does things and interacts physically with their environment, I think they get there's a special reward from that.
And it sure looks like Emily feels quite comfortable in her new surroundings. John Kronk, Channel 8 News, near Chirino, Texas.
Jill and I recently built a house, and there's an awful lot to it. I envy those folks who can actually do that sort of thing, put it all together.
You've been suffering through it, but you haven't actually picked up the hammer and done any of that stuff, have you?
No, not yet. Except,
unless it's at your contractor, right?
That's right. Jill's done it at me a couple of times.
Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much. See you again at 6.
Goodbye.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin tonight with general agreement that the recession is coming to an end, and no agreement on how strong the recovery may be or how widespread. There was a very positive economic sign today. The government reports that orders to factories for what are called durable goods, substantial items like cars and home appliances and manufacturing equipment designed to last several years, rose 3.8% last month. It was the second increase in a row and the largest in a year. So here is our economics editor, Stephen Ogg.
Orders rose last month for a broad range of manufactured goods: automobiles, aircraft, machinery for business, ships and tanks for the Defense Department. That should mean more production and more jobs in the months ahead. There was also more activity last month in the residential real estate market. Sales of existing homes rose 6%, the fourth straight monthly gain. One reason is relatively low mortgage interest rates. But economists say despite these signs of an upturn, not every industry or region is going to recover from the recession at the same time.
We're starting to see an end to the recession in manufacturing, so that areas like Chicago are really doing pretty well. On the other hand, in finance, we still have almost a depression, so that in cities like New York, it's a disaster.
Consumers are also taking a wait-and-see attitude. The latest ABC News Money Magazine Consumer Confidence Survey shows most consumers do not think the economy is going to get any worse. So at least some of those new orders must be based on anticipation that consumers are going to be buying again soon. Stephen Ogg, ABC News, Washington.
The first region of the country to slip into recession was New England, and many economists think it may be the last to emerge. Since 1989, the Northeast has had high unemployment and a slumping real estate market. And now the Pentagon wants to shut down several of the area's major military installations, which will take even more money out of the region's economy. One base has already closed its doors. ABC's Ron Claiborne is in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
When Pease Air Force Base closed last March, hundreds of civilians lost their jobs, and nearly 7,000 military personnel and their families were transferred. It was a devastating blow to the economy of nearby Portsmouth.
Every single store in the city has felt it. Every industry and every business in the downtown and everywhere.
The shopping malls are virtually deserted. The downtown business district is now dotted with empty storefronts, and many of the businesses that remain are struggling. Alan Levinson's Ford dealership used to thrive on business from servicemen and women.
Dollar-wise, it probably affects us to the tune of $14,000, $15,000 a month in gross profit.
During the past year, 1,000 children from military families have left, and 4 elementary schools will be closed this summer. As the school children left, layoffs began.
We had 345 school personnel, teachers and aides, and we lost 103 last year.
Ever since the government announced the base closing, state and local officials have been trying to attract new businesses to the site. So far, the most promising prospect is Deutsche Airbus, a German aircraft manufacturer.
Where empty homes and barracks now stand, developers envision a huge commercial air base and industrial park complex, employing thousands in high-paying, skilled positions.
I think it's very critical that the authority succeeds in landing an anchor store, so to speak, a major company that will come here and generate new jobs.
That won't be easy. Portsmouth still has to acquire the property from the government, which takes time, a year or more. And if the German aircraft company doesn't come through, there's not yet a serious alternative. But for Portsmouth, being the first community to deal with a base closing, they actually turn out to be a break. There are limited commercial uses for these installations, so if nothing else, Portsmouth got a head start on what's likely to be fierce competition for those businesses. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials lost nearly 3 points to close at 2910, and the trading was moderate. In a moment, some of the other news. Yugoslavia on the verge of coming apart at the seams as two of its republics declare their independence today. On the American agenda tonight, how the proposals of the National Commission on Children might actually benefit poor families. And also tonight, hard times at the Bolshoi Ballet.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Subaru.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
Hurry into your Subaru dealer now and you can save over $2,700. Buy a Subaru Legacy L Sedan Automatic with air conditioning, power windows and door locks, cruise control, and more. Get $2,000 in factory cash direct to you that you can use for your down payment. Plus the special value package savings of an additional $705. With great savings like this, you're really in the money. Hurry in for great savings during your Subaru dealer's Spring Value Days celebration.
I put off seeing my doctor because I was worried about needing surgery for my hemorrhoids. I suffered for it. The pain, itching, and burning were awful. But the doctor said my hemorrhoids weren't serious. I didn't need surgery. He told me it was time I started using Preparation H.
New Preparation H cream helps shrink swelling of inflamed hemorrhoidal tissues and often brings relief from pain, itching, and burning for hours.
What a difference Preparation H cream makes.
New Preparation H cream.
Overseas news, new concern today that Iraq may be trying to conceal some nuclear material from United Nations inspectors. Officials at the UN say that over the weekend, an inspection team was denied access to a key nuclear plant near Baghdad. And when they went back, they saw cranes and other heavy equipment in the area, leading to speculation, at least, that whatever was in the plant at the time may have been packed up and moved away. Another country in Central Europe is now in danger of coming apart. In Yugoslavia, where ethnic divisions have always contained the seeds of disaster, two of its 6 republics, the two wealthiest, Croatia and Slovenia, voted today for unilateral independence. And the National Parliament, meeting tonight in emergency session, is calling for the army to prevent it. After the vote for independence in the Slovenian parliament, Slovenians immediately began trying to secure their own borders. It was a very emotional moment for Croatians, who were last completely independent in 1918. Yugoslavia is a complicated patchwork of 6 republics, 24 different ethnic groups, and 4 official languages. Their history has been marked by rivalry, held in check largely by the Yugoslav communist government formed at the end of World War II. There is widespread concern about trouble ahead. In Croatia, for example, a powerful minority is opposed to the independence and breakup of the country. We could find ourselves sitting on a bomb, the Yugoslavian Prime Minister warned, which could blow us all up. The State Department says today it will not recognize the independence of either Croatia or Slovenia. Other news, in San Diego today, an arrest in a case of computer sabotage. If the plan had succeeded, it could have done serious damage to the computer system of one of the country's leading defense contractors. ABC's Gary Shepard is in San Diego.
Computer programmer Michael Laufenberger was taken into custody by federal agents less than an hour after he was indicted by a federal grand jury. He is charged with computer fraud for planting what authorities call a time bomb program in a sensitive computer system linked to the Pentagon. Laufenberger worked in the Space Systems Division of General Dynamics Corporation. According to the indictment, last March he created and hid inside the General Dynamics computer a program designed to erase key files relating to a number of U.S. military projects, chief among them the Atlas Centaur rocket program.
Was going to wait till the Memorial Day weekend, approximately 6 o'clock. It was going to activate. It was going to increase in priorities until it got to the point where it was the #1 priority and, in fact, was run. It would actually go in and destroy 2 files and approximately 178 other programs. And then, in essence, it would destroy itself.
But by chance, another employee discovered the time bomb program hidden in an unused computer file. With the help of Pentagon investigators, the program was deactivated 6 weeks before it was set to begin. Authorities say Laufenberger, who apparently did not think he was getting enough recognition for his work, quit his job after hiding the destructive program in the computer. He told investigators he hoped to be hired back later at a huge salary to repair the damage. If convicted, Laufenberger faces a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison and a $500,000 fine. Gary Shepard, ABC News, San Diego.
And just what federal drug agents say they didn't need, a new way to smuggle cocaine. Instead of trying to hide the drug in pieces of hollowed-out plastic, which is a common trick, drug dealers are now melting down the cocaine and actually mixing it into the plastic itself, shaping it into anything from plugs to pipe fittings. Once it gets into the country, the pipes can be melted down again and the cocaine extracted. General Motors says it is recalling about 42,000 1991 Chevrolet Corsica and Beretta cars because the steering wheels may come loose or even fall off. The Traffic Safety Administration is also looking into other GM mid-size cars from 1988 on, which could have the same problem. In our next segment, the Pentagon looking to keep its bases in the Philippines in spite of the damage done by the volcano.
Pain from just one sensitive tooth can start the domino effect. Pain can make you stop brushing, lead to plaque buildup, gingivitis, periodontal disease, even tooth loss. Sensodyne toothpaste helps stop the pain and the domino effect.
A lot of you insist on eating wheat thins and oat thins because they taste good. But the whole idea behind these crackers is that you can eat them without feeling guilty. That's why they're baked, not fried. I mean, eat them because they're delicious, and you miss the whole point.
Because sometimes the day ends and the pain doesn't, we're introducing new Tylenol PM. It's more than relief. It's relief for those times when you can't sleep. Tylenol PM has extra-strength Tylenol pain reliever to help stop your nighttime aches and pains, plus a gentle ingredient to help you sleep, so you can wake up refreshed in the morning. From the name you trust comes new Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
What traits do you look for in a financial firm? A herd mentality? Unsteadiness? Complacency? Or do you look for strength? Stability? Knowledge of the world? What traits do you look for?
Two reports tonight on the Philippines and the enormous financial fallout from the Mount Pinatubo volcano. Today there were several small earthquakes in the area which have increased the danger of landslides. As it is, there's not nearly enough money to help those living nearby recover from the damage that has already been done. ABC's Mark Litke is there.
On a farm turned into a wasteland by tons of volcanic ash, a Filipino farmer refuses to give up hope.
No, I will not leave because my home is here already.
But the determination of many Filipinos will be severely tested in the months ahead as the fallout from Mount Pinatubo's eruptions continues to pile up. There are now 250,000 refugees crammed into evacuation centers. Social workers say they are desperate for more food and water. The damage to roads and bridges has been hampering relief efforts. There are traffic jams in riverbeds. Ash continues to fall on roads that have just been cleared. This is also the beginning of the rainy season, and rivers of mud are threatening to flood towns and valuable farmland. Thousands of acres of sugarcane and rice already have been destroyed by ashfall. So far, government officials estimate damages in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and economists say the biggest loss has not been factored in. The American military bases that used to pump $1 billion a year into the Philippine economy are now virtually unusable. 80,000 Filipino base employees are out of work. Finding new jobs will be nearly impossible. Olongapo City outside Subic Bay and Angeles City outside Clark Field are both heavily damaged. And with so many Americans being evacuated, there's very little business. Before the volcano, the Philippines had just started to recover from a series of disasters last year. A major earthquake, a drought, massive flooding, and the loss of millions of dollars in revenue from Filipinos who worked in the Persian Gulf. Now, the Philippines will need even more economic aid from abroad. And even then, there are shattered towns and shattered lives that may never be the same again. Mark Litke, ABC News, Manila.
The U.S. Embassy in Manila said today the U.S. is not going to abandon the military bases despite the damage. Right after the eruption, there had been talk in the Bush administration that perhaps The U.S. did not need the bases anymore since the worldwide Soviet threat has diminished. But as ABC's Bob Zelnick reports, that may have been a negotiating position.
Publicly, the Pentagon says that damage to Clark Air Base and Subic Bay Naval Station must be fully assessed before the future of the bases is decided.
How bad is the damage? What'll it take to clean it up? How much will this cost? What are our options? Those are the sort of things that we're looking into now.
But privately, officials admit that the disaster has highlighted the value of the two facilities because the U.S. has had to disperse operations all over the Pacific. The Pentagon has had to send some ships needing repair work to Guam, 1,500 miles away. Most of the air supply operations for U.S. forces in the Western Pacific have had to be shifted to Yokosuka, Japan.
Left-hand turn, 21,000, engage.
Air and naval weapons training in the areas have stopped. The operations might have to move to Australia. Losing Subic Bay would mean losing the skilled and inexpensive Philippine workforce. The bases are also strategically located in the South China Sea. In negotiations with Manila about renewing leases, the U.S. will argue that it can live without the two bases and the cost of repairing them. But the disaster proves what both parties already knew, that no other single location can serve U.S. needs so well. Bob Zelnick, ABC News at the Pentagon.
Another note from the Far East. In Thailand today, further progress on resolving the Cambodian civil war. The Cambodian government has agreed to let the United Nations monitor a ceasefire with the three main anti-government groups, including the Khmer Rouge, that have been fighting to overthrow the government for the past 12 years. We'll be back in just a moment.
I don't want to marry him, Mom. Just date him. Oh. He's not that much older, and he'll get a job. My head. You're gonna love his earring.
Where's my Anacin?
When you've got a splitting headache, reach for Anacin. Anacin relieves headache pain better than regular strength Bear or Bufferin.
Spike and I are glad you feel better, Mom.
Anacin, strong pain relief for splitting headaches.
To get rid of her gray, my wife can spend 40 minutes. But I discovered this 5-minute hair coloring.
The revolutionary discovery called Just for Men from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes shampoo out.
Gray is blended away. The look of my natural color is back in 5 minutes. That was me, and it won't fade or wash out.
My hair takes forever, but you look great in just 5 minutes.
The look of your natural color in just 5 minutes with Just for Men.
Ford Motor Company profiles in quality, vision.
Quality of the glass that goes into our cars is so important, we make it ourselves.
No other car company in the world does that.
Ford Glass has to pass over 110 quality inspections. Our people check it, our lasers check it, our robots check it.
Our glass is so good, it not only goes into our cars, many other automakers put it in their cars.
Our goal is to build the highest quality cars and trucks in the world.
At Ford, quality is job one.
Poison ivy, insect bites, rashes. Too many choices. You only need one. Cordade.
Stop the itch and heal the rash with a brand doctors recommend most.
Present Arms.
Cordade, the only aid you need.
If your minivan needs brakes, come to Midas. You get trained technicians, guaranteed quality parts, a good price, and a lot of value. For brakes done right, bring your minivan to Midas. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
On the American agenda tonight, we continue to focus on children, America's poorest children. When the National Commission on Children published its report yesterday, which it hopes will lead to a better life for millions of American children living in poverty, it gave the report the title Beyond Rhetoric. With a child born every 15 seconds to a working mother, with a child born into poverty every 35 seconds, the Commission has produced a hard core of recommendations. A $1,000 tax credit per child for every family. Support for an existing tax credit to give the working poor more available cash, and some guaranteed assurance for families so that if one parent takes off without paying child support, the government will be there to help. Again tonight, our agenda reporter is Rebecca Chase.
They play with the borrowed basketball. The wall serves as a crude backboard. Karen Griffin's 3 boys have grown up in the Chicago housing project. So did their mother.
How long were you on welfare?
To say all my life.
All your life.
Karen got a job 6 months ago.
I didn't want the boys to think it's okay not to work.
Karen earned $6.35 an hour as a receptionist, enough so that she no longer receives welfare, housing assistance, Medicaid, or food stamps. At the end of the week, she takes home $50 less than what she received on public assistance.
So it's not like you're a whole lot better off.
No. No.
Karen's dilemma is all too common, and that's what the Commission wants to change, a welfare system that supports only those who do not work. Its proposals are aimed at helping those who do, by encouraging work, independence, and strong families. The Commission was unanimous in its plan to help families get out and stay out of poverty. The central proposal to give a child tax credit of $1,000 per child to every family is designed primarily to ease the financial burden on the very poor and the middle class. An outright cash payment to the poor, a tax deduction for the rest.
We thought that the universality of the principle that all families and children should be guaranteed a minimum of economic decency was very important, and that it took away the stigma of welfare for those at the bottom.
The reason the Commission endorses the Earned Income Tax Credit, which already exists, is because it enables very poor families with children who are earning money to keep more of what they earn, up to $2,000 more a year.
You know, it's going to be an enormous boost to encourage work, to help people think that they can move up in this society.
The Commission says the child support assurance recommendation is necessary because currently only 1 in 4 absent parents, mostly fathers, pays full child support. The Commission wants to test a plan to crack down on delinquent parents, using the full power of the federal government to garnish wages and tax refunds.
It would have a major effect in transferring responsibility for children back to the people who brought the child into the world.
If a parent cannot be forced to pay, the Commission proposes that the government provide a minimum benefit, $1,500 for the first child, $1,000 for the second, and $500 for each additional child.
What is important is the focus on the child and the focus on making sure that that child and that family doesn't suffer because a parent is neglectful.
The failure of parents to pay child support is the single greatest reason so many mothers and children live in poverty today.
Sometimes I feel mad, like I wish he was here.
So what would the Commission proposals add up to for Karen Griffin? She now earns $11,000 a year after taxes, right at the poverty line. The Commission's recommendations, the child tax credit for her 3 children, the earned income tax credit, the child support benefit, would boost her income to $19,000. The Commission predicts that implementing these 3 recommendations alone will cut the welfare rolls by half. That will cost $40 billion, but they promise a clear path out of poverty by providing tax relief, rewarding hard work, enforcing parental responsibility. For Karen Griffin and her boys, they offer the first real possibility of a better life. Rebecca Chase, ABC News, Chicago.
Tomorrow we'll look at the only area of the Commission's report where some members seriously disagreed, the question of providing health care for all pregnant women and children under 18. We'll have our final report this evening in just a moment.
Honey, we're talking grounds for divorce.
It's so bad you can taste it. The sticky, pasty film inside your mouth.
It's pretty bad.
Ugh. You wake up with every morning of your life. Morning breath.
I'll be right back.
Fight morning breath with Scope. Antiseptic Scope kills on contact 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Come and get it. I'm all yours.
Suck her up, sweetie pie.
Antiseptic Scope. It's the best thing first thing in the morning.
Your kiss is ready.
We invested $100 million in the latest diagnostic equipment. And another $5 million a year training our expert technicians to use it. We are Goodyear certified auto service retailers, and we believe everything we do, from tires to tune-ups, should live up to the most exacting standards of all, yours and ours. Good tires, good service, good people, Goodyear.
When I say home by 11, I don't mean an hour later.
But, Daddy...
Another Maalox moment. It's a medical fact
There's no faster therapy known for your stomach acid than Malox. It's so strong, if you take it now, it starts working now.
Honey, I just can't help worrying about my little girl.
Daddy, I am 16.
Yeah.
Extra strength Malox Plus. It's a medical fact. There's no faster therapy known. Look for the coupon in Sunday's paper.
Tonight on Nightline, it's an American obsession, losing weight. But if everyone's on a diet, why are so many people overweight? The right diet, tonight.
Finally, this evening has come to this. No matter how many times we have reported on decay in the Soviet Union, there was always the image of the Bolshoi, the ballet and the opera, to signal Russian excellence to the rest of the world. The Bolshoi Opera begins a 3-week tour of the United States in New York City tonight with a world premiere of a new production of Tchaikovsky's Eugene Onegin. Remarkable because the Bolshoi Opera has never before premiered a production outside the Soviet Union. But not such good news from the Bolshoi Ballet. As ABC's David Ensor reports from Moscow, the ballet has fallen on hard times.
On stage at the Bolshoi Theater, prima ballerina Nina Ananashvili performs Giselle with perhaps the most famous ballet company in the world. But there is trouble at the Bolshoi. Nina and many others say it has lost its creative edge.
We don't have new performance. Like 8 years, we don't have new performance. This is very bad.
The Bolshoi is living on its past glory, with 2 companies both repeating old productions to full houses in Moscow and on tour around the world.
Bolshoi doesn't exist anymore as the first theater of the Russia as it was before.
For 27 years, the Bolshoi Ballet has had the same creative director. Dance critics say he stopped being creative many years ago. Backstage, there are more problems. With the government scarcely able to feed its people, the theater gets no more subsidies. There are shortages of brushes, canvas, paints. The electrical equipment is antiquated. This year, the company cut back by 2/3 its order of material from the West for dancers' tutus. For centuries, this theater was a cultural crown jewel of czars and then of commissars, a showcase for the best composers, choreographers, and dancers. But now that Soviets can more easily travel to the West, more artists are going there, and they are staying. Until a year ago, Viktor Barykin was a promising dancer at the Bolshoi, but he made less than $100 a month, and he was not given leading roles. Now he has moved to London to star at the London City Ballet, a soloist with a Western salary. Nina Ananashvili performs in the West, but this is her home. She says her inspiration still comes from here and from the music.
I love this ballet so much. Every time when I dance Giselle, you know, every time I dance a little bit different.
And on some nights, there is still magic at the Bolshoi. David Ensor, ABC News, Moscow.
And that is our report on World News tonight. I'm Peter Jennings. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Tuesday, McMurphy returns to the States.
It's about time.
But happiness remains out of reach.
I don't fit.
Try not drinking.
I hate you.
I love you.
We loved each other, and now I'm hurting us.
An all-new China Beach Tuesday.